Wade Wilson's 2024 conviction for the brutal murders of 2 women in Cape Coral, Florida, sent shockwaves through the community. Media outlets dubbed him the Deadpool killer, a nickname drawn from his name and resemblance to the Marvel antihero. His apparent lack of remorse only deepened public outrage and horror. Wilson, who was 30 at the time of sentencing, was convicted of the October 2019 murders of 35-year-old Christine Melton and 43-year-old Diane Ruiz. In August 2024, following a jury's recommendation, a Florida judge sentenced him to death, making the case one of the state's most high-profile murder trials in recent years. Who was Wade Wilson? Wade Stephen Wilson was born in 1994 to teenage parents who were unable to provide a stable home. Shortly after his birth, he was adopted by a family in Cape Coral. From an early age, Wilson exhibited emotional and behavioral problems. Friends and family later described a childhood marked by frequent school suspensions, escalating aggression, and early drug use. Despite multiple interventions, including counseling and rehabilitation programs, Wilson's behavior continued to deteriorate. By his 20s, he had built an extensive criminal record that included violent offenses, domestic incidents, and child cruelty. Those who knew him described a volatile personality, charming at times, explosive at others. His instability and repeated criminal behavior painted the picture of a man steadily spiraling toward violence. The murders. Wilson's deadly spree began on October 7, 2019. That evening, he went to a local bar with his girlfriend, Mila Montanez. The couple, known for their volatile relationship, argued while there. At the bar, Wilson met Jason Shepard, and together they struck up a conversation with Christine Melton and her friend Stephanie Johnson. After the bar closed, the group went to Shepard's home, where Wilson and Melton were intimate. Later, Wilson, Johnson, and Melton returned to Melton's residence. In the early morning hours, after the others had left, Wilson strangled Melton in her bed, stole her car, and fled the scene. Later that morning, Wilson assaulted Montanez at her workplace. A few hours after that, he encountered his second victim, Diane Ruiz, who was walking to her job. Wilson asked her for help finding a nearby school, luring her into his car under false pretenses. He then strangled her. When he attempted to bury her body and realized she was still alive, he ran her over repeatedly with Melton's stolen car. Arrest and confession. Following the murders, Wilson made a series of phone calls to his biological father, Stephen Testacea, during which he confessed to killing both women and provided disturbing details. Testacea immediately contacted law enforcement. Wilson was arrested later that evening. During questioning, Wilson reportedly told detectives that he would do it again. Becoming the Deadpool killer. While awaiting trial, Wilson dramatically altered his appearance, covering his face and neck with tattoos, some of which experts have associated with white supremacist ideology. Others referenced comic book films such as The Dark Knight and Deadpool. His shared name and resemblance to the Marvel character contributed to the media's Deadpool killer moniker. Wilson also continued engaging in criminal behavior while incarcerated. In 2020, he was involved in a failed escape attempt after trying to remove cell bars with another inmate. In 2023, he was implicated in a drug smuggling scheme. Following his murder conviction, Wilson pleaded no contest to those charges and received an additional 12-year sentence for attempted trafficking of amphetamine or methamphetamine and conspiracy to traffic. Trial and sentencing. In June 2024, after a multi-week trial, a jury found Wilson guilty on 6 counts, including 2 counts of first-degree murder, as well as grand theft, burglary, and battery. The prosecution presented overwhelming evidence, including eyewitness testimony, phone records, DNA evidence from the crime scenes and Melton's vehicle, and Wilson's own confessions. The jury ultimately recommended the death penalty, and the judge upheld that recommendation, bringing legal closure to one of Florida's most disturbing murder cases in recent memory.